Hello and welcome to all. Some prisoners sometimes manage to escape thanks to improvised or long-prepared stratagems. So, imagine that a prisoner has managed to escape through the slot where his meal is usually deposited, or that a Brazilian gang leader has disguised himself as a girl to escape from prison. It would seem almost implausible, yet these escapes, and many others, actually happened. Would you like to find out? Then make yourself comfortable. Here are the most incredible prison escapes caught on camera. Michael Maldonado is a truly amazing man. And with good reason. Having just been arrested by the police of Porter County, Indiana State for possession of illegal substances, this young man clearly had no intention of staying behind bars. Once he arrived in the prison garage, an event that seems to be straight out of an episode of Prison Break occurred. In fact, we can see, thanks to the surveillance camera in the garage shows two police officers moving slightly away from the car where the inmate was. Meanwhile, the garage door started to close. Taking advantage of this opportune moment, Michael moved into the driver's seat, opened the door and ran for his life. This scene is truly incredible. Especially since this fugitive narrowly escaped through the door. Without delay, the police sounded the alarm and went looking for him. And unfortunately for Michael, his freedom was short-lived since he was found the next day. After this total failure, Michael Maldonado was charged with 2 crimes, and as a result his prison term was extended. Staying in prison has one advantage: you have all the time you need to think about escaping. The proof with these 3 prisoners named Aaron Clark, Ricky Senna and Victor Apodaca, who escaped from a penitentiary located in the town of Clovis, New Mexico. Their plan was quite simple: to escape through a door of the establishment and head for the exit. All in a matter of minutes. To get there, there is no doubt in the minds of the police officers, they had help. Indeed, the main suspect was a woman named Serena Dodson. She was in charge of keeping an eye on the surveillance cameras, but reported no escapes. However, the fugitives can clearly be seen passing through the exit door and then walking quickly out of the prison. Thus, the prison guard was forced to admit to having assisted the 3 prisoners to escape from the detention center. As a result, she was sentenced to 9 years imprisonment. As for the other prisoners, the police found them a few days later in a house in Clovis where they were comfortably settled. They didn't go very far after all. Since their new arrest, their prison sentence has been largely increased. Prisoners can be very creative when it comes to prison breaks. And this is the case of these 3 prisoners, named Bac Duong, Jose Nayeri, and Jonathan Tiu. The latter have in fact escaped from Santa Ana Maximum Security Prison in California in a spectacular way. They managed to saw through a metal grill to access a ventilation duct and made their way to the roof of their prison, from where they descended using a rope made from sheets. Then all 3 escaped in a white van. They also had the help of several accomplices, including an English teacher who was giving lessons in prison in Jose Nayeri. However, while those who helped the prisoners escape were arrested, there was no question of the 3 fugitives being released. All measures had been taken to find them. In the end, after more than a week searching for the dangerous criminals, the police arrested Jose Nayeri and Jonathan Tiu thanks to the call of a passerby who recognized the white van reported in the media. As for Bac Duong, he turned himself in to the police. He went to a gas station where one of his friends was working and asked her to call the authorities. In the end, the escape was not only a failure, but all 3 prisoners ended up with much longer prison sentences. Before continuing the video, here's the question of the day: in what year was the film, The Shawshank Redemption, released? Is it? Option A. In 1984. Option B. In 1994. Option C. In 2004. Write the right answer in the comments and we'll see at the end of the video if you were right. Derek Estell carefully planned his escape. But he didn't choose to dig a tunnel, or escape in the middle of the night. It was under the astonished eyes of the guards at Hot Springs Prison in Hot Springs, Arkansas, that the inmate made his escape. The scene is bluffing. From the images captured by the security cameras, there is no doubt that the 30-year-old had carefully prepared his escape. When he left his cell to make a phone call, he first waited until the guards were far enough away from him to sneak in through the skylight of an information desk. On the other side, a guard could have intercepted him, but he was distracted by William Harding, another 58-year-old inmate suspected of being his accomplice. Chased by a guard, Estill then fled through the front door of the building, before being picked up a few dozen meters away by someone in a car. Although the car was found by the police, Derek had been completely missing for several weeks. Guilty of 26 different charges, the fugitive was certainly not ready to show himself. Later, his mother, Glenda Estill, was arrested for helping her son escape from jail, and a few weeks after that arrest, Derek was also found in Florida by law enforcement. Here's a video that would make pale the most experienced criminals with jealousy. Detained in the Waukesha Police Department, this woman named Amber Gonzalez, 30 years old, was able to escape with remarkable ease. Guilty, among other things, of theft, this woman had no intention of spending time in prison. The proof with this surveillance footage. We can see Amber trying as best she can to remove the handcuffs that were attached to the wall. At the same time, she was constantly looking at her phone, as if to read instructions that would guide her to get rid of the handcuffs. And against all odds, in less than a minute, her little trick obviously worked. It's really surprising. Especially since the handcuffs were very tight on her wrist. Unsurprisingly, Amber immediately fled through an emergency exit. We imagine that the police officers could only be astonished to see her thus disappearing. However, Amber did not enjoy her freedom for a long time because an hour after her escape she was found in a hotel. At the age of 17, a young boy named Quantrell Schwartzlow took the first opportunity to escape possible imprisonment. He was taken into custody in connection with an alleged assault investigation in which he was allegedly involved, and was taken to the Rock County Sheriff's Office in Janesville, Wisconsin state. As the detective was about to leave the office for a few minutes, the young man sought to have his handcuffs removed. Unfortunately for him, the investigator asked him to wait until he returned. But apparently Quantrell had no time to waste. This is how we can see through the surveillance camera, a scene worthy of an action movie. As soon as the police officer locked the door, the teenager opened the window and jumped out, even though he was still on the second floor, almost 4 meters high. When the detective returned, he was totally shocked to see that the boy had escaped. As a result, several police officers went looking for him, and 4 hours later, the young man was found. Although he pleaded not guilty to assault and escape, Quantrell probably received a heavy prison sentence. Clavino da Silva was a very dangerous man. He was even part of the leadership of the Red Command, one of the most powerful criminal groups in Brazil. It was mainly for this reason that Clavino was arrested by the police and sentenced to 73 years in prison. However, he certainly did not intend to spend his life in a cell. So, he tried to escape from the Garrochino prison near Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. But it doesn't matter in which way. This gang leader actually tried to leave the prison by the front door, pretending to be his 19-year-old daughter who had come to visit him. To do so, he put on the teenage girl's clothes, including a bra, as well as a silicone mask, a wig and glasses. He then planned to leave her behind in his cell. However, this operation, which was original to say the least, was not as successful as he had hoped. The detainee was so nervous when leaving the prison that the authorities unmasked him. In revenge, the guards filmed Clavino, removing his disguise one by one before distributing the video of his disguise to the media. In addition to his failure and humiliation, the prisoner was transferred to a maximum security unit. 3 days later, Clavino da Silva committed suicide and was found dead in his cell. The 25-year-old Russian prisoner, Rustam Shakrutdinov, wanted his freedom at all costs. Imprisoned for theft in the Izberbash detention center in southern Russia, he seized the first opportunity to escape from his cell. Thus, Rustam decided in June 2016 to cross the slot, initially used to pass meal trays to the prisoners. Yes, quite simply. We agree, this is really surprising. Normally, this little trapdoor can't allow a man to pass through. But this man put all his talent into it, and he succeeded. At one point, we can see that he seemed to get stuck at the waist, but finally the man managed to slip, naked as a worm, through the crack. The fugitive even took the time to pick up his personal belongings and get dressed before leaving the scene with a quiet step, as if nothing had happened. Filmed by the prison's surveillance camera, Rustam's footage was all the rage on the web. However, it does not answer a few key questions. Where are the prison guards? Why aren't they intervening? In any case, this prisoner obviously had it all planned, and the least we can say is that his plan proved to be a great success. According to the Russian media, the man nicknamed Snake Man, or in French, L'homme serpent, had vanished into thin air. Currently, it is still not known whether he has been found by the Russian police. Nevertheless, he now has a CV worthy of a professional gymnast. Now it's your turn to tell us which of these escapes is, in your opinion, the most original? If not, the film entitled The Shawshank Redemption was released on September 22, 1994. The film was a commercial failure when it was released in theaters, but has since acquired the status of a cult film, appearing notably in the American Film Institute's list of the 100 best films. I hope that many of you found the right answer.